Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of our 6-week low back and hip series. This evening, we will start seated. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my spot now. And assuming that seated is a comfortable position for you, and if it's not, you can certainly lay down. Okay, so just finding whatever might be comfortable. We're going to get onto our backs shortly, but I thought I would review quickly our homework. And I did put that in the Facebook group. And we have some new people this evening as well. And so I always like to review this no matter what. That said, before we get into the homework, let's just, again, find that comfortable spot. And I'm going to assume that everyone can hear me okay. I have my mic on. Can you give me a thumbs up? Yep, thank you. So find a comfortable spot, and if it feels available, close down your eyes. And just beginning to settle into this space we're in this evening. And perhaps noticing the sounds outside of the room that you're in. Maybe you hear some cars or some birds or children. Maybe you don't hear any of the outside noises, but maybe you can sort of send your thoughts out there and visualize what might be happening outside. And then you're going to bring that awareness inside the space you're in. And not necessarily the room that you're in, but like the house that you're in. And maybe you're listening or hearing some sounds happening outside of the room you're in. The sound of the heater going. Maybe there's other people in the house moving about. And just noticing that. And then you're going to bring your awareness into the room that you're in.
Working? I couldn't get it on my computer. I had to do it on my iPad. Oh, got it.
And then begin to notice the sound of your breath. Perhaps you can hear it, the air going in through your nostrils. And if you don't hear it, you can feel it, likely. And maybe you feel your heartbeat. And you begin to feel your body soften in the space it's in. Again, seated or laying down, whatever's comfortable. And we'll begin to just deepen our breath. And I'm going to invite you to take one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart space. So it could be over the heart or center of the chest. I have a microphone on the center of the chest, so I can't do it. And as you inhale, fill the belly first. Bring the breath up into the low ribs and then all the way up into the chest. And as you exhale, your chest deflates, low ribs come in, and the belly empties. And as you continue on that path of that inhale and exhale, you can really feel the rise of the hands of your body underneath them and the fall, the deflation as you exhale. And as you inhale, feeling your body grow taller out the crown of your head and holding that length up high as you exhale, feel yourself rooting down into the earth, down through your pelvis. And feeling that connection to the earth, you inhale again and bring it all the way up the crown of the head, and you're growing taller. And as you exhale, rooting down. This is sort of that root to rise philosophy, that while we're rooting down into the earth, we're also growing up tall, reaching up towards the heavens, if you will. And I'm just going to allow you to take a few breaths here on your own. You can see what you notice, and you don't have to necessarily change anything unless you're uncomfortable or in pain. And then by all means, change what you're doing. Let's take 3 more nice, deep, and even breaths. You're welcome to keep your hands exactly where they are, or you can bring them down into your lap. I have my hands placed down on my legs, or you could have your palms up, either one. And so I'm going to go back to what I mentioned at the very beginning, the homework for those that were here last week, and then to go over it for those that weren't joining us for the first time this evening. So I usually just like to teach this before we start with anything else, because it's just super helpful, I think, for low back and hip pain. And in yoga, we call this Uddiyana Bandha. And the first part of it is called Mula Bandha. And Mula is root, and Bandha means lock. So we're doing what we call a root lock. And what we're doing is we're pulling up on the pelvic floor. I'd like you to think Kegel, however, more. Kegel on a grander level. So Kegel is just the pulling up of the muscle, the perineum muscle. But we have the whole pelvic bowl that is full of musculature that you really want to activate and strengthen. And it's really important for low back and hip pain. So you're going to do that. You're going to do, let's call it a Kegel. Pull up on that pelvic floor, do your Kegel. Hold that there. You're going to pulse your belly button to your spine 5 times. So you pulse, release, pulse, release, pulse, release, pulse, release, pulse, release. And then you exhale everything. And that is 1 time. That's 1 rep, we'll say. Ideally, our goal is to get to 50 of those a day. And I know that that sounds like a lot, but we can do them driving, we can do them sitting, washing the dishes, watching TV. We're doing it here right now. And then the added piece that we're going to add on to this tonight that we didn't do last week is the breath. Okay. And that's what makes it what we call Uddiyana Bandha. So you pull up on the pelvic floor and you inhale. And as you're pulsing belly button to spine, you're going to exhale. So this is, I'm just going to show you, this is what it looks like. You're going to pull up and I'm going to pulse. So I exhale 5 times. And I did it through my nose, but I'll be honest, I actually think I like it better through the mouth. So I'm going to inhale again. Let's do this together. Inhale, pull up on the pelvic floor. And as you exhale out your mouth, pulse the belly button 5 times. So, and then release. Okay. And if that breath piece sounds too difficult or too complicated to start, just work on the pulling up and the pulsing. Okay. So that's our homework, and I'll bring attention to it in the Facebook group so that you can remember how to do that. All right. That said, let's come on to our backs. So you can remove any props that you have. If you have your foam roller, we'll keep that close by this evening because we're going to use that. If you don't have a foam roller, it's absolutely okay. Everything we're doing, we can do on the ground. All right, so we're going to come to laying on our backs. And of course, I have a hair clip in tonight. Always, when I have to lay on my head, I have a hair clip. Again, this is going to, some of this is a little bit of a reminder for those of us last week, but we still do it every week. So our feet are inner hip width apart. Knees are apart, feet are apart. And we're going to just do some pelvic tilts and curls. So you're going to curl your pelvis up towards you, like your pubic bone towards your head, and then you're going to reach it away. So you curl it in, you tilt it away. You curl it in, you tilt away. Hips stay on the ground, just the pelvis is moving. Sacrum comes up slightly off the ground, but really not much. You're sort of giving yourself like a low back sacral massage here, okay? Should feel good, honestly. And just a side note, like no pain in this. If something is painful, we come out. If it's slightly intense, that's fine, but pain really is not. Okay, so we've done that a few times. Maybe you're just keeping going. And then we're going to find neutral spine. So I'm neither tilting nor curled. I can maybe fit one, maybe two fingers under my low back. One is about right. I mean, everyone's bodies are different, but that's what I'm feeling is about one. Okay. So I have a nice neutral spine. And now I'm going to take my peace fingers to my hip bones, the bony protrusion on top here. And I'm going to pretend or isometrically pretend to pull those hip bones towards the midline. And my fingertips come off those bones as I do that. I'm going to actually sit up so that you can see me if you need to. So my peace fingers are on my hip bones. I'm pretending to move them towards midline. They come off the bones, and I feel that muscle there contract. That's called our transverse abdominis. And when I say in this course, activate your core, this is what I mean. I mean, pull up on the pelvic floor, pull the belly button to spine, and then activate that transverse abdominis. Okay. So anytime we're laying on our back, we want to activate that transverse abdominis before we bring our legs up off or our feet up off the ground. So if for some reason I bring my feet up off the ground and I feel it in my low back immediately, I'm going to come out. I'm going to re-engage. I'm going to do my pelvic tilts. I'm going to engage my core super strong, lift one leg up and then the other. All right. Again, at any point and at any time, all of a sudden our cores are like, nope, don't want to do that. And you'll feel some pain, maybe in your low back, maybe in your legs. And that just means that, we're not strong enough there, we're injured, we're weak, all the things. And it doesn't matter because we just come out, we re-engage, and we do it again. And eventually we can do it for longer. Okay. So I have my legs up off the ground. And I'm going to bring my feet back down onto the ground because we're going to add the foam roller. Okay, so if you have a foam roller, you're going to, we're going to take it underneath our low back. Okay, so I just did it a weird way. You can just place it underneath, I'm sorry, not your low back, your sacrum. Okay, triangular bone at the base of the spine. So again, you don't need this. This is just sort of once we add, we lift the hips up and then I'm going to lift my feet up. I'm adding a little bit more instability, which is making me draw into my core a little bit more. All right, so I'm activating my core, legs up to tabletop. All right. We're going to just do what are called marches. I'm going to reach my right leg down towards the earth, tap the toe, pull it back in to tabletop. Left foot taps, and in. Tap and in. Tap and in. We've got right and in, left and in, right and left. Let's go 2 more each side. And left, right, and left. You can release both feet. So we're going to do some other core stuff, but before we do, since we're here, we're going to kind of give ourselves a little hip massage. So it's always a really nice idea to roll muscles out before we work them. So lift the leg, I forgot to engage. Let's engage that core, left or legs up to tabletop. Arms are out long, palms face down, by the way. And I'm just going to drop my knees over to the right. And maybe you feel a juicy spot, and maybe you don't. And you can kind of roll back a little bit here and there, and you can just hold it. I like to hold it for about 20 to 30 seconds and then maybe move. But we might do a little bit more of that in a different position. Even here, you're using your core, you're using your obliques. Pull them up through center, knees up through center, drop over to the left. Same thing, maybe you find a super intense spot, maybe not. You could drop one of your feet or both of your feet and move the roller around slightly if you wanted to. You don't have to. And as we're here, don't forget to breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's bring it back up through center. 1 foot releases to the ground and then the other. I'm going to lift my hips up, remove the roller. So we're actually now going to take the roller lengthwise on your mat. So our entire body, head to sacrum, is going to be on the roller. This is where the real instability comes in, by the way. So you want this nice and straight along the spine. You want both your sacrum and your head supported by the roller. If you happen to be super tall and this isn't working for you, something under either the low back sacrum area or the head would be a good idea. Like a block, a yoga block would be a perfect use of that. Okay, engage the core. 1 leg up to tabletop and then the other. So perhaps immediately we've noticed a little bit of instability here. So both legs are up off the ground. And if we didn't activate our core, because I believe I forgot to tell you to do so beforehand, feet down, activate that core, that transverse abdominis, legs up. All right, right arm up. Uh-huh. And then we're going to drop left leg, right, nope, I drew the wrong, left leg, right arm, opposite. And then bring it all the way back through. Right arm drops to the ground. Left arm comes up to the sky. Right leg comes and taps. Left arm stretches out behind you. So those marches, but we're adding arms and we're going very slowly, right? To keep that balance. Keep going. So we've got right arm, left leg. Pull it up. Left arm, right leg. And it's okay. Wobbly is great. Wobbly is us getting stronger. I've got left arm, right leg. Right arm, left leg. Last one on the other side. Left arm, right leg. Pull it up through center. Both hands are on the ground. Legs are still up. Maybe bring Just for fun. This is literally just for fun. Come up to the fingertips, and you're like, this is not fun. But come up to the fingertips, maybe one fingertip, maybe both hands come up off the ground, and you're balancing on this roller. For 3, 2. I made it for 2. You can lower the feet. Nice job. Nice job. Okay. Hands behind head. Just do a little core work, a little bit more core work here. Hands behind head. Right ankle crosses left knee. So actually, let's bring right hand on the ground. Right ankle to cross left knee. Sorry. Left hand behind the head. Yeah, everyone with me? Right hand long. You're up on like your fingertips. You're balancing with that right hand. Right ankle is crossing left knee in a figure 4. Left hand behind the head. Engage that core. Come up onto the tiptoes of your left foot. We're going to just hold it here. Well, we're not just going to hold it here. We're going to do a little twist. We're going to tuck our chin slightly into our chest. We're going to lift our shoulder blades up off the roller and turn the left shoulder towards the right knee. And then come back down through center. Come up, shoulders up. Twist left shoulder, not elbow, okay? Lead with the shoulder. And then back down. 2 more. Up, twist over, center, down. Up, twist over, center, and down. Release the right leg, release the left hand. We'll switch sides. Left hand is long on the ground. Left ankle crosses right knee, figure 4. Right hand to the back of the head. Tuck the chin to the chest. You can inhale here. Exhale, shoulder blades up. Right shoulder towards left knee. Back through center, lower down. Inhale. Shoulder blades up. Exhale as you rotate. Center and down. Just 2 more. Pull it up. Rotate. Center and down. Remember, you're leading with that right shoulder. Up. Rotate. Center and down. Nice job. Hopefully you're feeling a little warm in this core area. All right, let's come off the roller one last time. And this time, we're going to just roll out those hips. Here, there's some runners in the group, so this is nice. And we're going to bring the roller underneath our low back, sacrum area. Hands are behind you. There's lots of different ways to do this. We're just going to start by rolling back and forth. And this is one of those things that should feel good. There may be spots of intensity, but if that intensity goes away when you come off the roller, that's a good sign. If it stays too long, that typically just means it's a little more injured of an area. All right, right ankle crosses left knee. I'm bringing the roller a little lower down on my glutes, my bum. All right. And you can just stay here. Left foot can stay on the ground and you can drop the knees over to the right, or you can pick that left foot up off the ground. Just depends on the intensity. And you're just rolling back and forth on those glutes. But I would find a juicy spot. Okay. Find a spot that you're like, I feel it. And then you're going to hold it there for about 20 to 30 seconds. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. And then you can roll back and forth. This is like a myofascial release technique. So then you can roll it back and forth and it should feel good. Okay. If you get into the IT bands, that gets super intense. We're actually not going to do that tonight. And then bring that figure 4 back through center, release, we'll switch sides. So left ankle to right knee, drop the knees over to the left. And if you want more, you would pick up that foot. It'll just give more of your body weight into the roller. So whatever feels good. And find that juicy spot and hold it there. Take some nice long inhales and exhales. And then roll back and forth. And I could hang out on the roller all night long. Maybe one night we'll do that. We'll just do a roller class. You could really give like a full body massage to yourself on the foam roller. I prefer the actual hands-on as a massage therapist, but in a pinch, feels pretty good. All right, come back through center. Uncross your figure four. Come off the roller. If you want to do a quick little, get the full spine going, you can. Ooh, I just got a crack. That's nice. A little bonus. But otherwise, we're going to put that roller away. I do highly recommend doing that kind of stuff every day. Let's come down onto our backs again. So that core piece, that was the hardest part of this class that we're going to do. It's all gravy from here, you guys. All right, let's do those pelvic tilts back and forth again. Find that neutral spine. And bring your feet wide, about mat width distance apart. So knees are wide, feet are wide. And then we're going to drop our knees over to the right. And as you're in this position, you can take your left hand to your left hip and just gently guide the left hip away from your head. And you're not really pushing, but you're just sort of helping it along. Like you can visualize that hip reaching away from your head, creating some space in this left side body. If this feels like absolutely nothing to you, that's fine. And if you like that, great. Sometimes feeling nothing feels really good. But if you want to feel a little bit more, you can take that right foot on top of the left knee and gently guide that hip away even more. Arms can be at a T or a cactus here. And if you want to take it into even more of a twist, you can actually take your gaze over the left shoulder, or you could take it over the right shoulder. The left shoulder gives you a little bit more of a neck twist, or you can keep your face in neutral. And we're still breathing. And in fact, using our breath to create space in those tight areas where we think we would like a little more energy, a little more length, a little less tightness. You can visualize your breath going to those areas. To release that foot from the top of the knee if you have it. Gently pull the knees up through center. And then we'll drop them over to the other side, to the left, if you went to the right the first time. And just realizing that one side might feel very different from the other. And so this time you might not want to put your knee on. You could try it and see. And if you're like, no, or maybe you didn't want it on the other side, but you do want it on this side. Experiment for yourself. Gaze can be over the right shoulder this time for more of a twist, or to the left, or through center. Using your breath again. Releasing that foot from the knee if you had it. Gently pulling the knees up through center. And this time we'll just windshield wipe them side to side. Just sort of bringing a little bit more blood flow to the area. And then after you've evened out, bring the knees up through center. You can heel toe your feet in. Hug your knees into your chest. Gently rock side to side on your sacrum. And then we can take some butterfly circles as we come through center. So you can open your knees out wide, then long, then together. So knees coming out wide to create some circles. And do like 3 to 5 in one direction. And then we'll switch directions. And then release your feet to the ground. And we're going to allow the soles of the feet to come together, the knees come out wide. This is butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana, we call this. And we're going to do, they're called like butterfly flutters, basically. We're going to bring one knee into center and then let it open up. And then the other knee in and open it up. One knee, that was the right for me, and then the left and drop. We'll do right and drop, left and drop. Let's go for 4 and left. 3 and left. 2 and left. Last one and left. This time we're going to do both together. So knees up, open, up, open, up, open, up. So the point of this exercise, you guys just keep going, is to tire out the inner thighs. Because we're going to do a psoas release in a little bit. And if we tire out those inner thighs, it allows the psoas to release as well. The psoas is a deep hip flexor. It's responsible for a lot of low back and hip pain. We can go faster. And then we're going to actually just do a couple more, and then we're going to stop, and we're going to do this one more time before we come into the psoas release in a few minutes. This time, your soles of the feet together, knees out wide. All right. You're going to engage that core, right? Pull up on the pelvic floor, belly button to spine, transverse abdominis. Everything is nice and strong here. I'm pressing my feet into each other, and we're going to lift our hips up. So this is called a butterfly bridge. So think bridge pose, but with our knees out wide. If you want to see what I'm doing, you can. Arms long, palms face down. I'm lifting and lowering. lift, and lower. Again, we're wearing these inner thighs out and drop. Lift, lift. Let's go for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Hold it up. I might have lied. I actually think this might be harder than the core stuff. Maybe just me? I don't know. I promise you we're going to get to the yummy stuff really quickly here. Hold it up. Lift the hips up. Nice deep breath in. Hold it up as you exhale. You can open mouth if you want. I can't hear you. Keep going. Hold it up. Press the feet into each other. For 3, for 2, for 1. Slowly, slowly, slowly lower all the way down. Let's bring our knees into each other. Hug the knees into the chest. And we're going to drop the feet to the earth. And we're going to take an actual figure 4 here. We're going to take our right ankle to our left knee. So the knee is out wide. If this feels like enough for you, great, stay here. If you'd like more, you're going to lift that left foot up off the ground, but you'll have activated your core before you did it, right? Anytime we bring that leg off the ground, activate that core. You can stay here. You can grab the back of the left thigh. One of my favorite ways to do this is to take my left hand to my right foot, left hand to right foot, right hand to right knee, and gently guide that right knee away from me. So my pelvis is neither tilted nor curled here. Okay, I have that one finger underneath my low back still. And while I'm stretching out my hips and glutes here, I'm keeping my core nice and strong. So I'm really sort of getting a core workout. And if you were so inclined, you could do your homework right here. Don't hate me. Nice deep breath in. And exhale. If you have the back of the left thigh and you'd like to reach the left foot up towards the sky, flexing both feet, and you're still reaching that right knee away from you. And we can roll out that left ankle 3 times one direction, 3 times the other. And then you can release the back of the thigh, release the left foot, and you're actually going to you're going to drop the left knee to the left. You're keeping your figure 4. That right foot is coming over to the left side. So the right foot is on the ground, right knee is pointing up towards the sky. Another little twist here. Now, if you have acute low back pain, twists are actually not a great idea. So I would come back and just stay in the figure 4. If things are just a little tight, this is great. But know your limits for sure. Deep breath in and exhale. Let's slowly pull those legs back up through center so you're back in that figure 4. Hug the right knee into the chest. Gently rock it side to side if you like. Release right foot to the ground. We'll take figure 4 on the left side. Left ankle crosses right knee. So again, sides feel different. This might be enough. This might not be near enough. Activate the core. Pick the right foot up. Grab the back of the right thigh, or Right hand to the sole of the left foot, left hand to the left knee, and gently guide that knee away from you. If you have the back of the thigh, or if you'd like to take it now, you can reach that right leg, right foot up towards the sky, taking those ankle circles, switching directions. And then release right foot to the ground, releasing the back of the right thigh. Left foot over to the right. So you're crossing over, left foot lands on the ground, knee is pointing up towards the sky. Inhale and exhale. Bring the legs up through center. You're back in that figure four. Hug the left knee into the chest. And then bring the right knee in to meet it. You can gently rock side to side. And if it's available, I'm going to invite you to find your roller one last time. We're going to place it underneath our sacrum. We're going to hug the right knee into the chest, and we're going to reach the left leg out long. Heel stays on the ground. Both feet are flexed. And if you want, you can pull that right knee out towards the right armpit. Ideally, you might be feeling this in your left hip flexor. You might feel it other places also. It's certainly not a one size fits all situation. This is also a psoas release. This is psoas stretch, really. It's not a release. It's more of a stretch. Inhale here. And exhale here. And bring that right knee through center. Release the right foot to the earth. Bring left knee into the chest. As you lengthen out the right leg, heel stays on the ground. Both feet are flexed. You can stay here if this feels like plenty, or you can guide that left knee out towards your left armpit. Again, one side might feel totally different. And so this time, as you're breathing, send your breath into that hip flexor, the top of the thigh, but sort of coming up into the groin area, perhaps into the hip bone. And you'll find that if you don't flex your foot, that long-legged foot, you might feel less. And then if you flex it, you might feel more. So you can play around with that, see what works for you. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll bring that left knee back through center. You can bring the right knee into me to give yourself a little last hug here as you release both feet to the ground. Lift the hips, remove the roller. You can also do that exercise with a foam or a yoga block or a giant cushion or bolster if you'd like. Okay, last time, soles of the feet together, and we're going to do those butterfly flutters, and we're going to do them quickly, okay? Because then we're going to come into our most relaxed position, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. All right, so let's just pull them in and out. In, 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 and you can get faster. Keep going. You've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them open up. Take a nice deep breath here. And open mouth exhale. So I actually find this position really comfortable, but you might not. And I'm going to give you guys a couple options because we're going to come into our yoga nidra session, but the option is to use it as a time for a psoas release as well. And if this isn't available in the space that you're in right now, it's something that you can do later. So if you have bolsters or pillows that you can stack up maybe as high as a couch or a chair, or if you have a couch or a chair, that would be lovely. Okay, that might be optimal, one would say. I'm just going to give you an example of what that might look like. So I'm going to come up here and my legs are going to be rested. And my legs are sort of falling open here. I don't know if you can tell, and that's okay. But we don't want them falling off anything, okay? So we're holding them here, and you'll notice my legs are at about a 90-degree angle. If that's available, great. If it's not, it's okay. But this just really allows, if you get to a position like this, you'll feel, well, frankly, you won't feel your hip flexors. You won't feel your psoas contracting at all. And as I guide you through the yoga nidra practice, it can completely and totally relax. All right, so I'm going to invite you to find what might be either that position or your ideal yoga nidra position. And just a reminder, yoga nidra is like yogic sleep. And so you want to be in your most comfortable shavasana position. And at the end of this, I will just be signing off. I'm not going to have you come out of it. I'm going to let you stay there as long as you want. And maybe you stay there overnight. I don't know. The goal is not to actually fall asleep during yoga nidra, but lots of us do, and especially for the East Coasters where it is late at night, that might happen. So that most comfortable Shavasana position, or if you have your legs up, which is a very comfortable Shavasana position as well, a blanket covering you, maybe something under your head, because as we lay here, our body temperatures tend to drop. And you just want to get all the wiggles out. And this is a guided meditation that I am reading. Okay, it's a script that I'm actually reading. So you're making sure that you're comfortable as possible. You're checking for any lumps or bumps, anything that might be distracting. Maybe you're wearing a watch and you want to take it off. I usually end up taking off my earrings. You just want any distractions. And know that you can move. It's okay if you do, all right? But maybe we try to allow ourselves to get so comfortable and so relaxed that we don't want to or need to. So scanning your whole body, making sure that you're as comfortable as can be. Your feet are relaxed, your legs, hips, back, arms, shoulders, jaw, forehead. Checking in and making any further adjustments if it will help you be your most comfortable. And feel yourself settling in and setting aside anything that's happened before this moment and setting aside anything that might be happening after this practice. Bringing all your awareness right here, right now. Setting everything aside for these moments to rejuvenate. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, letting go of any tension, any fatigue. Let go of any thoughts, any need to do, just being. This is your time for yourself. Nothing to accomplish, just enjoying peace. Begin to experience the stillness even more. This chance to do nothing. And if it feels restful, allow these words to be received energetically rather than mentally, so that even the mind can rest now. In its place, there's effortless awareness. Feel all experience becoming more and more effortless, serene and effortless. Yoga Nidra has now begun. A series of energetic points will be named. Allow your awareness to flow freely from point to point, like connecting points of light or energy currents. Start with awareness on the point between the eyebrows, experiencing it energetically rather than physically. The point between the eyebrows. The hollow of the throat. The right shoulder joint. Shifting freely to the right elbow joint. Wrist joint. The right thumb. Tip of the index finger. Tip of the middle finger. Tip of the ring finger. Tip of the little finger. Experiencing energetically the right wrist joint, elbow joint, shoulder joint, hollow of the throat, over to the left shoulder joint, elbow joint, wrist joint, the left thumb, tip of the index finger, tip of the middle finger, tip of the ring finger, tip of the little finger, back up to the left wrist joint, elbow joint, shoulder joint, hollow of the throat, the heart center, the right side of the chest, the heart center, the left side of the chest, the heart center, the navel center, tip of the tailbone, the right hip joint, right knee joint, ankle joint, the right big toe, tip of the second toe, tip of the third toe, tip of the fourth toe, tip of the baby toe, back up to the right ankle joint, knee joint, hip joint, tip of the tailbone, sweeping awareness to the left hip joint, left knee joint, ankle joint, the left big toe, tip of the second toe, tip of the third toe, tip of the fourth toe, tip of the baby toe, back up to the left ankle joint, knee joint, hip joint, tip of the tailbone, the navel center, the heart center, hollow of the throat, the eyebrow center, the eyebrow center, the eyebrow center. Become aware of your breath, aware of the body gently moving with each inhale and exhale. Notice on the inhalation that the abdomen gently rises, then the chest rises. And on the exhalation, the abdomen falls and the chest falls. Inhale, abdomen rises, chest rises. Exhale, abdomen falls, chest falls. Feel this wave of breath. Like a wave washing into the shore, then washing away from the shore. Follow this gentle wave of breath. Each breath, watching the wave rise and watching it fall. No need to make any changes to the breath. You're simply watching. Watching the natural wave of breath like gentle waves on the ocean. Begin to count the waves. Simply follow the natural pace of breath. Inhale 1. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 4. And so on up to 26. If you lose track, that's fine. Simply start again at 1. Now letting go of counting the waves of breath. It doesn't matter if you reached one or lost track or made it to 26. You're letting go of the count. Bring your awareness back to your heart center. Notice the heart center rising on inhalation and falling on exhalation. And bring awareness back to your body. Feel your body peacefully resting. And feel the support beneath you. Notice the temperature of the space you're in. And notice the sounds. Allow yourself to know that you are fully and totally supported here. Please feel free to stay here and enjoy the rest of your evening in peace. See you next week.